So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of rising in life when you're at the very bottom, when you have no money, no finances, no family. I mean, you just are hitting rock bottom. How do you rise in life with this? Especially using the ancient science, of Vedic astrology. Not astrology, Vedic astrology, which is embedded in mathematics, physics, okay, real astronomy. So even if you're new here and you don't know, well, now you know, okay. And this is actually a question that was given to me by this individual named Soul Food, who says, when everything, like every single thing you wanted or dreamed of, career, finance, health, love life, everything, okay, is doomed, what and where should one start? Like any remedy for to get out of to get out winning still when you hit the rock bottom? So pretty much what you're saying is that how can I improve myself, in Vedic astrology, or especially through Vedic astrology, because that is something that I do. And this is something I specifically know about this subject because I myself was at one point at the rock bottom, actually below rock bottom, no money, no family, nothing, no love life, nothing happening. Okay. The only thing that I wish now, that if at that time when I was at rock bottom, if I would have just read Autobiography of a Yogi or listened to it with audiobook, I think I would not have felt so much at bottom, because I would have gained $1 trillion worth of wealth through that book. But the thing is, one of the biggest things that I discovered, and this goes hand in hand with your horoscope and the home that you live in, which means we have to then discuss and talk about Vastu. Vastu. Okay. This is the ability to live in harmony with the nature within your own dwelling. And one of the two biggest things that I found becoming a problem, which was absolutely 100% problem in the home that I was living in before 2012. Okay, the home that I was living in, the opening of the door and where the kitchen was completely opposite of what was supposed to help me. Because I was curious. Once I learned these things, I'm like, let me see where exactly was the kitchen. So I looked at the whole map of the home. And after I moved out, this is many years after I moved out, and then I looked, oh, this is where the sun is rising, this is where it's setting. That means this was our front door, and the kitchen gas was facing that way. So when you're cooking, I'm like, this is completely against the dynamics of my chart. No wonder I was completely just stuck and dead there in terms of my life, my livelihood, and getting any kind of like a even mediocre success. And this is why when I do any of my readings, okay, whether it's marriage or career or your dasha reading, I'm specifically asking, make sure while you're sending me your birth details, send me exactly what your home opening is and what your kitchen is facing, where your kitchen is facing. Because, for example, in my own home, that particular home and kitchen was excellent for my mother and my second elder sister. Perfect for that. For me specifically, it was completely opposite. I should not have been in that home. And so this is where we look at the factors. So if you are going through, because in Vedic astrology, why is it that you're suffering? Why is it that you will have no money, nothing? It is, again, the dashas that you're going through. And especially in those dashas, if you have one of literally 100 yogas that is one of the Arishta yogas, well, you're going to face Arishta. You're going to face the struggles in life, which itself is, again, you have to have that mindset to understand, okay, well, you are paying some karma off, so it's being checked out. But the thing is, Dasha itself become the biggest thing regarding whatever is happening in your life. Money, no money, whatever it is. But you can still, if you can use your willpower, depending upon how much willpower your horoscope allows, through your willpower, if you were to change some of these things within the home, you will see a dramatic change. Like, for example, there's a saying in real estate, or in business, change location, change your luck. Right? There's a reason why it has been said for literally hundreds and thousands of years, or hundreds of years, I should say. Change your location and change your luck, whether it's concerning home or whether it's especially concerning business where you make money. Because, and the thing is, there's this dogmatic, notion, whether you're studying feng shui or vastu, is that you have to have a north facing home. North facing home is amazing. North facing home brings wealth. That's true, but that may not be true in your chart. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is officially the 6th time I'm filming this video, and I will not quit until I actually film it, because I am going to put my will into this particular video. And my will, my gods, and their blessings will help me make this video. And of course, the reason why it's happening, I'm talking about Vastu. Saturn is transiting in the 3rd house right now, here where I'm at, of communication, and in the nakshatra of Dhanishta, which is about Vastu, Saturn is retrograde. And this is why Saturn keeps making do this video repeatedly. Because the audio failed 2-3 times. My card just becomes hot and suddenly just stops. So coming back to our focus, the most important thing is this. The household of the person who's a householder in the family, the Vastu has to be looked at from their perspective, number one. So even though I was at my mom's home, okay, when I moved there as a 17, 18-year-old, it definitely was the right thing for my mom, because she's the one who sustained the family for such a long time while I was struggling. Because if you have a 10-year-old child, you don't want to get the Vastu according to their chart only. Because if for their chart it's good, for your chart it's not, and you move in as a householder, your job doesn't do well, your income doesn't do well, how are you going to provide for the child who you made sure that the Vastu should be good? Yeah, they'll be doing good in their studies. But guess what? It's not going to last long, because then you're going to have to move because you don't have a job. You can't pay your bills. So always make sure of that. Between the husband and wife, whoever is the higher of the income holder, whoever has a stable, steady career, the Vastu should be built upon them. Whether you're a husband-wife, whether you're a husband-husband, you're a wife-wife, doesn't matter. It depends upon who is the main provider. Okay. Now, and then also, I'm going to be talking about this in my KRS vlogs next week on my academy, which you will find at this link, KRSchannel.thinkific.com. And I'm also doing pending karma, showing you at pending karma there, which literally I learned that technique in 2015. It took me 7 years to really understand it after repeated analysis. So I'm showing that because I'm also doing the reading of that as well right now. But talking about kitchen, okay, kitchen, which is another important thing, because you got to understand, back 200-300 years ago, 400 years ago, kitchen was not the integral part of the home. Kitchen was separate from the home. Okay. Now what happens is, because 100% of the homes have kitchen within the home, what happens is fire element, regardless of where it is disturbing some area. If it's in north, is destroying and burning something. If it's in east, is burning something. If it's in south, it's burning something. You can't get away. Even though south is fire, they prefer kitchen in that area. But I'm sorry, originally kitchen was not meant to be part of Vastu. So even if you put fire area with the fire where the fire is, you put fire there, well, guess what? It's now doing double the work. The fire element is there, but now it's really igniting it. So it's overpowering of the fire. So for example, our home in DC, and as you already know, um, that I think I've already talked about this. Did I already talk about this? I'm going to look into this in the edit. My God, I've shot this video so many times. I'm losing my mind right now. But kitchen, okay, becomes very important because again, kitchen is the blessings of a Devi. Kitchen is the blessings of a Devi. Kitchen is the divine mother. Whether it's your father cooking, whether it's the mother cooking, whether it's you alone cooking, it is the divine mother who is feeding you, who's allowing you to cook, who's allowing you to have food there and condiments there so you can make yourself a sandwich, you can make yourself dal, you can make yourself dosa. Okay, so it's a very important part of the home. But the thing is, when it's not in the right placement according to your chart, okay, and again, according to your chart, then it becomes an issue. And like, if I don't know if I said this before earlier, one of the remedies that I discovered about in 2017 is to take a brick, paint it a certain color, put it underneath the stove area to balance out that fire. And again, if I'm repeating this, sorry, I haven't checked the videos. This is the sixth time I'm filming this. But in DC, I had a kitchen in the east facing. As soon as I put the bricks, within a week, my wife made connections. Okay, so if I repeated it, sorry. But she made all kinds of friends. And to this day, we are in contact with those friends, even though we're no longer in DC. So it's always good to neutralize and balance that fire within the home. Because your kitchen is no longer separate, it becomes part of the Vastu. That means if I am Vastu Purusha, you put kitchen anywhere, I'm going to feel burned. And I'm going to get irritated with that particular area because it's really heated in certain part of my body, whether it's going to be in my head, which is northeast, whether it's going to be on my feet, which is southwest, which is in my arm, any one of these directions. So talking about when nothing is working out in your home or in your life and you don't have the money, you don't have the sustenance, again, through my little, this minute experience in this universe, what I have seen is that the home and the kitchen is the primordial, issue and focus. When you change that, you change, again, changing home, changing luck. I think I've already said that too. But that's what has to change. But again, it's if the dasha will allow you. So then what happens is if the dasha is really, really strong and your willpower, the third house, is not so strong, then no matter how much you try, it doesn't let you go through. That means first we have to then do remedies for the dasha you're going through. Let's try improving that so at least it gives you a little bit of power to take that step towards, if not the north facing home, maybe the northeast facing home, which is the second best position for you. You can go in there. If not the northeast, then at least east, even though you're in a worse position, which is south, or vice versa. You're supposed to be in south, you're in north. Well, somehow that will, by doing these remedies, being patient, it allows you to change that direction slowly. So it helps you a little bit more. And maybe let's say you go through the entire remaining dasha and the new dasha starts, suddenly your luck opens and boom, you go into the south direction that you're supposed to be in. So this is biggest, the biggest and the simplest secret of finding your key to success, especially through this particular science. And it is science. It's hard science, harder than the other science that you learn. Okay, but like I said, I'm going to be showing you examples of this on my KRS blogs, which is the link here. And of course, I also have now the pending karma reading that I'm doing currently now for people. So you'll get to see that on the website as well. Otherwise, I'm going to see you next week with our regular programming. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.